been straightforward with me about her own stuff, and of course, the situation with different people around here. The guy who.
Oh my god. Alright, so
The guy who assaulted me with an overstuffed teddy bear this morning. Well, his name is Michael Hart, and he's one of the who has also taken part in assaults against Jamie. The lady that I spoke with, she said that everybody takes it out on Jamie because they take it out on whoever it's easiest to take it out on. Now, this is a woman who is highly intelligent, knows her shit, and as a result, I do want to get her recorded with her permission and have her tell the stories. I mean, she was telling me about a lot of the other assaults that Jamie has taken. People smacking her in the back of the head with full cans of food. It'd be nice to have a cigarette to give her right now. Now, this is the first outburst she's actually had today, and people have been leaving her alone. They've been targeting me, but they've been leaving her alone. The lady that I spoke with, she said that Jamie was taken to an institution and she came back this way. How many times have I spoken about that? About how they take our people away, they give them the Haldol and the Ativan, and they don't come back from it. I'm lucky. I'm lucky I didn't end up like her, or like Sam, or like Dean. I'm lucky I didn't end up like that. That's not to say I didn't end up like that temporarily. Those things throw you for a loop. When they put those drugs in your system, they know exactly what they're doing. Every doctor and every nurse in America knows what they're doing. Every single one of them. As a result, they don't get to play stupid with me, and I don't fucking play that goddamn game. They know what they're doing is wrong. Many of these doctors and nurses who have spoken out about it are no longer, well, doctors or nurses. Haldol and Ativan, that's a lethal combination. The people out here that want to victimize Jamie, that sucks. With Michael Hart, I was instructed that he doesn't have opinions of his own. He'll take the opinions of whatever his friends say. We're familiar with that too, ain't we? Most of these folks are gonna take the side of the pusher man. Well, I said that too. And this lady this morning knows her shit. She also said that if she'd seen that some bitch smack Jamie with that burrito yesterday, she'd called the cops on him. I explained to her that if I called the cops and she stopped me right there and said, well, they're not going to take her report from you. I said, I know. She said they ain't going to listen to you. They ain't going to investigate it. I was also told that there's several women who've tried to turn in rapes here that were committed by people that are popular and or drunk. There's also the pressuring. A lot of you women know this one. You know, you don't want to, you're not interested, you don't want it, but he's not taking no for an answer and nobody else is speaking up. You don't want it, you're not interested in it. Now sure, you've let people pressure you into it before, and maybe even this person you've let pressure you into it before. And when you're pressured into it, people are like, oh well, she wanted to have sex with him last week. Well, that's not okay. See, that's the thing with date rape. A lot of people think that because you're dating a man that you owe it. No, you don't. You don't owe shit. All right. If you had sex with your boyfriend last night, but tonight you're not in the mood and you're not interested, and he forces himself on you anyway, he's still a fucking rapist. Just because a woman is a prostitute doesn't make it okay to rape her. Just because she's a drug addict doesn't make it okay to rape her. Just because she dresses provocatively doesn't make it okay to rape her. Those of you guys who want to have that opinion, what I want you to do is I want you to apply that to you. If you go out there and you dress in a muscle shirt, show off your abs, is that okay? Make it okay for a man to forcibly rape you? No, it doesn't. Yeah, I want you to picture a grown-ass man doing this. Don't be picturing some little 15-year-old girl, you pervert. No, I want you to think about this from the perspective of the actual victims. No, we're not going to do this whole role reversal thing where your predator gets to be a pretty young, blonde-haired, blue-eyed female. No. No, you're going to get a Bubba. You're going to get a couple of brothers for the Aryan Brotherhood all up in your cell. And they're going to make you bleed. You have no idea what the fuck you're turning that knife from. When you're making these excuses and you're saying that it's okay because she's a hoe. No, that doesn't make it okay. Because your opinion of her is so low, it makes it okay to sexual assault her? No, it does not. No, it absolutely does not. Just because she had sex with a guy last week doesn't mean that she is required to put out. That, hell no. And I let people last night know, if you yell the word no, I'm going to come running. Not literally, I can't. But I'd gimp over there as fast as I can. And that's not just for the females, that's for the men too. Not all of the assaults out here are sexual. Matter of fact, most of them ain't. Now, with that young woman last night doing what she did to help work out the Jimmy, I am very much appreciative of that. The guy that was touching her inappropriately, you know what, when she said no, when we finally got her to take the hint of you have to say no, wasn't much of a hint by that point. I said, hey, if you say no, I'll back it up. You've got to use the word no, though. You have to say no. You have to use that word. If you're hinting, even very, very heavily hinting, if you're a woman on the streets, that don't fly. For a woman in a house, especially if she's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl, yeah, that'll absolutely fly. Shit, if a man looks your direction, fuck, you could have him put in prison. Paris Hilton, go ahead, look at her cross-eyed, I fucking dare you. But out here, no, you need to be extremely direct. And that's one of the things about being autistic. People don't like autism. We don't like small talk. We don't like chit-chat. Let's get something fucking done. Let's get down to business, get it taken care of, and get it done and over with. But no, you guys never shut the fuck up. How are you going to help anybody when you can't shut the fuck up? The thing with Michael Hart, I found out he's been physically abusive on multiple occasions down here. He's the one that was out here this morning flipping over tables and flipping over shopping carts and throwing people's stuff. And his friend back there, he's a fucking asshole and a half too. He's the one that was screaming, oh, the birds, the birds. What about the birds? Like, he wasn't throwing that out there for the birds, he was trying to pelt people with it. He was throwing a tantrum. Now, the lady that I was talking to, she was able to give me a bit of history on a few of these people here. There needs to be somebody here to actually monitor the activities here and actually keep people safe. Now, the young woman last night who was being physically, how do I say that? Literally, she was sexually assaulted in front of all of us. She's not going to do anything. She's not going to turn it in. But at least she knows that she can say no now. As far as turning it in as a sexual assault, you think she's going to do that? No, she's afraid to. She's also afraid of the women here who are friends of his that'll do the whole, oh, well, you're a lying asshole, you're a lying asshole, we all know you're a hoe, you were fucking leading him on and this, that, and the other. I was there last night, I saw it. I wasn't the only one who saw it. Now, when it comes to protecting people and saving lives, that's what I'm about. Now, that Michael Hart feller, come to find out, although he's been cool since I got here until today, until he's towards me, he got drunk this morning and he wanted to have an issue with me because one of his friends has an issue with me. Well, that's fine. His friend shouldn't have smacked Jamie in the head with a goddamn burrito. There's a difference between hitting somebody with a burrito and hitting somebody when you have a burrito in your hand. You get to see in the video, you look at it, fucking he hits her, and half the burrito goes flying off. It wasn't he threw a burrito at her, or he just smacked her with the burrito. No, he hit her in the fucking head, is what he did. Now the guys who run this shit, there's some dirty motherfuckers in houses. There's the people who run St. Vincent's here, and then there's the people who run the lot. And the people who run the lot are the dealers and the slingers. There's a lot of people here who are users. Chevy 2500 HD. And I didn't see the license plate number. I'd give that to you too. I'm fine with ending up dead in the ditch. I'm not okay with keeping my mouth shut. When it comes to abusing at-risk adults, when it comes to abusing children, when it comes to abusing the homeless, when it comes to abusing minorities. But you know, above all these, the children are the most important. Jamie's been through a lot of trauma. And she went to a mental institution and got an injection and came back like this. Same thing that happened to Sam. Same thing happened to a lot of people. Sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. There's 3 women down here that have a lot of really useful knowledge, and they don't necessarily see eye to eye or even get along. But all 3 of them have useful information. All 3 of their words can change lives, save lives, change laws, and thereby save lives. A lot of them out here, though, they got no hope. They say it won't do any good. And they're right, it won't do any good. It won't do any good unless they speak up. It won't do any good unless they work together. That's what it takes. Yeah, I'm smoking out of a tobacco pipe. It's nasty. This is my addiction. Like that lady was saying, with Jamie, people take it out on whoever it's easiest to take it out on, and she's easy to take it out on. The lady also says Jamie won't press charges. Well, this is one of those situations where she doesn't have a choice. The state is supposed to press charges. By the way, the evidence of the crimes, several crimes committed against Jamie, the actual crimes themselves are on my channel. You can see her getting assaulted by that man. Now, the thing that made me get out of my car in that video is that over here I could see in my mirror, I could see him push her. But we didn't catch that on camera, we just caught my reaction. We did catch on camera him punching her in the back of the head. And those of you who say that she deserves it because of the things that are coming out of her mouth, no, especially not with her mental state, especially not with all of the abuse that she has gone through right here on this very lot. Meanwhile, sadly, she's safer on this lot than she is anywhere else. If she's anywhere else, then they can catch her alone and they can do whatever they want to her, and nobody's going to investigate it. Nobody's going to care. Not if it happens elsewhere. They'll say, oh, she was fucking crazy. She probably started it. No, she's not. She's not starting it. She's fucking having a mental breakdown from long-term abuse. She is what I am afraid of becoming. The longer this goes on and the more abuse I take, the more likely it is I'm gonna have an outcome like hers. Now with that Michael Hart feller, knowing his name is a good start. Knowing that he does actually have a history, because I've only been here just a little over a week. Knowing that he's got a history of not only assaulting people, but of assaulting Jamie, not fucking okay. And you guys can hear that in my recordings. You can hear what comes out of her mouth. Apparently, somebody thinks that my address, we've got some of these harassers from the Bill Jensen videos again coming on here and being asswipes. So what do we do with these guys? Hide user on this channel. Blam. It's that easy. And then they're gone, and they'll make another profile to harass me again. But you know what? That's not going to stop me from speaking out. I speak out against these predators for a reason. I film it for a reason. I get that people aren't happy with being filmed, but you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. This morning with that guy, he was just throwing soft stuff, but he was still throwing stuff. As far as out for the birds, no, that's not about the birds. The guy who was yelling in that video has been just as much of a dick as anyone else to Jamie. They just want to scream at her to shut up. Of course, she screams at them to shut up. And one thing that a lot of people that, there's a lot of people that are out here that make excuses for Jamie's predators. Like, oh, she's crazy, she's crazy, she's crazy. But you know what? I also hear the things that they say to her when they walk by when she's trying to lay down and go to sleep and be left alone. and that's antagonistic. And then they get her up and going and screaming again because they're triggering her trauma response. And then people, instead of doing something about the asshole who's antagonizing her, they just want her to shut the fuck up. They just want the victim to shut the fuck up. Well, you don't always get what you want. In this case, you're not going to get what you want. Yeah, I may not like the screaming, but I know where it comes from. And I'll be goddamned if I'm going to let people harm her over something that is not her fault or her choice. These people out here running the lot, the dealers and the pushers, that ain't right. That's where Boulder was different. Yeah, we had the pushers, we had the dealers. But they knew to stay out of homeless business or they might get killed. They also knew that if they fucked with kids, they might get killed. See, in Boulder, Colorado, the police don't give a shit. They're hobo hunters. They're not going to go after the dealers. They're going to ignore the pushers. Alright, we got more people getting on here. Someone typed, "Yo, I'm alive, dude. Thanks for the posts." Well, thank you for being alive. You're welcome for the posts. I hope you're not here with the folks harassing me from that Bill Jensen feller. He's even got a profile content thing on somethingpedia. I don't know. He's one of those wannabe Christians that doesn't do what Jesus do. We're used to those, ain't we? I don't know how to impress upon you that Emily Hahn. Yes! Oh my God, Emily, thank you! Thank you! Oh my God, yes! I remember you! You're found up by the reservation up there in Washington State. Yes, ma'am, thank you. Oh my God, I'm in the Dalles right now, Emily. I'm literally here in the Dalles. This is where I'm at. It's over by the 76. This is where I'm at now. Those of you who didn't know about the Emily Hahn situation, I found out that she was missing, like, actually right after they found her. I'm thank you for being alive, by the way. Now that there's a lot of missing people I've been trying to help find, a whole lot of them. And sometimes we find them and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we got a good outcome, like with you, Emily, and sometimes it's like with Selena Not Afraid, and it's always a thank you, by the way. Emily typed, "You're a cool dude, keep up work." I'm an asshole, Emily. I really am. I'm sick of my friends dying. I'm sick of not being heard. When I talk nicely, it goes nowhere. And then when I yell and scream and curse, people pretend that I'm being irrational. No, I'm not being irrational. I spoke nicely first. When people threatened my sister and my niece, I tried being as nice as I could, but they didn't want to listen. I'm tired of people getting victimized and then locked up for being victimized. I got so many of my friends that they were abused by somebody in their family, and they tried to tell and nobody listened, and then they ended up cutting on themselves. They end up locked up in a nuthatch. They get injected with Ativan and Haldol, and they might not even come back mentally. And it says you're crazy, but it okay. We all crazy better than normal. Thank you. I absolutely admit to being crazy because I believe we're all crazy. As far as me screaming, I have tried to find a way to get heard. I stutter. That's why I say a lot. That's why I pause a lot. So if I stutter, I'm sorry for not speaking properly. Being autistic, a lot of people have the assumption that we don't have emotions. We really do, but we're punished for showing them. Emily typed, anyways, I'm gonna go. Good luck and stay out of the heat, man. It's hot out. Yes, ma'am, Emily, and thank you very much. You rock. All right, so we got a few more people out here on the streets to help out. We got 2 more people that are missing here. We've got David and Katie Saltzman. They're still missing from Beaverton, Oregon. We were able to find Rebecca Gross-Nickel Foley, and she was able to help out with the information she could. She was also able to get out of the dangerous situation that she was in when she was in Portland. Hopefully where she's at now, she'll be able to get a little bit more help. It's unfortunate that it's in a place that I can't go. Right now, the major issue for me is on the lot. I don't feel comfortable leaving here. There's a lady who, she was kind of looking out for Jamie, but she's not able to be here all the time. She's got her own stuff going on, and that's not my business to tell. We all got issues, right? Anyway, most of us are out here because of trauma. The 4 people that really run the lot out here, they're trying to run it like a prison yard. We got traumatized folks here, and we got a safe place. It's run like a prison yard. That guy that assaulted Jamie yesterday, he wanted to try to press me to pay rent. You're gonna have to kill me, son. I'm smarter than you might think. I'll walk right into a trap knowing goddamn well it's a trap. With this guy not coming around, he seen me this morning and he went the other way. But not before bitching to his drunk friend who's been an ass. Thank goodness his drunk friend Michael Hart is passed the fuck out right now. He's not starting shit, he's not yelling at anybody, he's not overturning people's stuff, he's not throwing teddy bears at people. Holy shit, that's the highlight of my day, getting a teddy bear thrown at me. Anyway, the moral of the story here is fuck you. It ain't happening on my dime. It ain't happening on my clock. It ain't happening on my schedule. It ain't happening. The guy that assaulted Jamie, he wanted to threaten to have me thrown off the lot, claiming that he works here and all he's got to do is put a word in and they're gonna 86 me. Well, with threats like that, I've got no choice but to go in on Monday, which is tomorrow, and show him the video of that motherfucker. Yeah, I get what's going on with Jamie. I understand it. I understand completely what's going on there. I don't know all of her backstory. I don't need to know all of her backstory. I grew up with people with severe trauma. I grew up with people who lost their fucking minds because they were given drugs that are dangerous. They're lethal. When Jamie was taken to where she was taken and injected with the drugs that she was injected with, they took her life away then and there. Just as they had done to Sam in Boulder, Colorado. I know from experience, even though it takes about 2 years before a brain is healed as far as it's going to go from the damage that has been done to them, I know that when it comes to Haldol and Ativan, you got about 3 months. After 3 months, the person that you got is a person you're stuck with. They're not coming back any more than that. And any drugs that are put on top of them are only going to make them worse. You can sedate them so that they're zombied, they feel sick all the time. That's not going to heal the trauma. And how the hell is she supposed to recover from a goddamn thing when she is still out here being victimized? I'm that woman this morning who filled me in. She's the one that told me to keep an eye on Jamie. Not keep an eye on her as in, watch out, she'll steal your shit. Not as in, watch out for Jamie, she'll start hauling off and fucking hitting you. She's the easiest to victimize out here, so she's the one people take their shit out on. Well, from here on in, that means step in the middle of it. If it's just shouting, I'll let it happen. If it's just that screaming and shouting, I will let it happen. Cops ain't gonna fucking do squat. When it comes to physical violence, I'll do something every time. And I got 2 videos to show those folks tomorrow when they show up. One of them with Michael Hart, and one of them with the guy who assaulted Jamie. I don't care if you're family, assault ain't okay. I don't care if you're related, assault ain't okay. If you're familiar with Jamie and with her issues and with her problems, you ought to be more understanding than that. Ain't no need to antagonize the situation, and I ain't afraid of your fucking prison sentence, motherfucker. I'll talk nice to you. I will do my damnedest to defuse the situation, but you start threatening me and mine. Yeah, we got issues already, son. Since he wanted to create more issues instead of backing the fuck off. Since he wanted to assault somebody and then try to antagonize the situation. Wanted to try to threaten, harass, and intimidate me. Wanted to claim he gonna get me kicked off the lot. Oh, well, that shit ain't gonna happen. If they want to kick me off the lot, I'll go. I will absolutely go. I will also make sure that that video is posted up from here to New York fucking City and everywhere in between. I will advertise. So, yeah, you guys don't like my antics, you don't like my tactics. You were fine when people did that shit to me. How many assaults does Jamie have to take before somebody fucking does something? That one lady who's out here on Jamie's side, that one lady is doing all she can do, but she's only one person. Because of recent events, I don't feel comfortable walking through the camp without recording it. Now, there's one lady here who was a real problem 3 days ago. She has not been a problem since. She hasn't thrown a tantrum. She hasn't thrown anything at anybody. She hasn't so much yelled at anybody in 3 days. It's a good start. I think that has a lot more to do with her mourning the death of her friend Sean. That's right, there is another Sean here. I don't know how he died. I know there's a memorial for him today, and I know that we got pretty much the predators here left. When that lady started giving me the list of people who had victimized Jamie, it was a pretty lengthy list. You wonder why she's as fucked up as she is? Because everyone out here victimizes her. She's just glad to have a cigarette. She doesn't even do drugs. She doesn't even smoke pot. Now I'm gonna walk through camp. I'm gonna speak loud enough that everybody knows that I'm recording. Kind of a protective thing. A necessary protective thing. Now, getting people's names makes it a little easier to take care of these situations the way they need to be taken care of. With the staff here tomorrow, they might do the right thing and try to create an environment that is safer for Jamie. It needs to be. It needs to be safest for the most easy to victimize person out here, whether that be Jamie or anyone else. The easiest to victimize person is going to be the one that takes it. I'm pretty easy to victimize, but I'm also quite coherent, and I'm a mean son of a bitch. I know all their tricks. I grew up with predators, remember? Oh, you want to pretend that all of us autistic folks grew up in a goddamn bubble with people waiting on us hand and foot? Yeah. You want to pretend I live in a fantasy world. Now, that lady who is aware of quite a bit of this stuff, I'm trying to get her to hopefully speak up on my YouTube channel, and she's thinking about it. There's another woman last night that I spoke with who's already spoken up on my YouTube channel, and she would like to do so again. She wants to speak about a couple of recent experiences. Alright, where did I put my fucking coffee? Well, I got water. I'm gonna go try to find her a cigarette too. I guess from what the other lady was telling me, Jamie does go over to the 76 and they try to take care of her best they can there with cigarettes and coffee. So I'm gonna go over there shortly and I'm gonna thank them for that, because at least that's somebody. When people don't get what they want and they can't take it out on their predator, and they're too afraid to take it out on their predator. They're too afraid of retaliation. They pick someone who is easy to victimize every time without fail. Hey Jamie, I'm making a video. So one of the worst situations that I encounter out here is that at this point I feel that it's safer for myself and everyone else if I record everywhere I go. And that's not something I want to do. I want to allow people their privacy. I want to allow them to do the things that they want to do. These are grown-ass adults. These are human beings. Their body, their choice. You kiss my ass on that. But we also, of course, we need to look out for the people out here who are at the most risk. And we're not doing that. I mean, it's not just people looking away at those folks being victimized. It's people taking an active part because they know that person can't defend themselves or won't. And that pushover, and then you just push them over and push them over and push them over. And, you know, that's getting a lot of people out here killed. And then we've got people that want to say the druggies are the problem. It's the homeless druggies, the homeless druggies. Well, there's lots of druggies in houses. The pusher men are all in houses. Every one of them. They're not living out here on the streets. They're in their houses. The people that they victimize out here on the streets, it's, like I said, they treat it like a prison yard. It's for people who run the lot, and they run it heavy, and they run it mean, and they run it full of chemicals. In Boulder, Colorado, the homeless themselves are the ones that help to push the meth out. Now, don't get me wrong, meth is going to be everywhere, and then college kids are going to get a hold of it no matter what. The homeless didn't want it. When people come through slinging something, you know, you can make a friendly reminder to them that we can make their lives live in hell. You know, there's stuff that you're going to come through with that ain't a big major problem. And there's even meth heads, that's right, meth addicts in Boulder, Colorado, who helped to push the meth out of Boulder, Colorado. And that was successful for a lot of years. A lot of them old hippies, they helped out with that. You know, when we came together and decided that we didn't want something there, we knew, all of us from experience, you know, a lot of people living in Longmont, living in Denver, living in Chapel, Nebraska even, we know what meth does to the town. We know what it does to our area. If you're going to use what you're going to use, we're not going to be able to stop you from that. But we were able to at least curb it and curb the control that those people had over the environment and over the people there. We did not allow Boulder, Colorado to become a goddamn prison yard. Sorry for bringing this over here. It's just over there. There's a bunch of people and noise. Now, when it comes to people out here being pushed around, shoved around, folks not accepting the word no. No means no. I don't know how better to explain that to you, that no means no. Also, I don't know how to impress upon you that it doesn't matter how much of a hoe she is in your personal opinion. She's allowed to say no. What, you think that because you have an opinion that she's a prostitute or a whore or a hoe or whatever it is, you want to be nice and use the word promiscuous? Well, you know what? She's allowed to. She's allowed to. Her body, her choice. Same thing with the drugs. Their body, their choice. When it comes to putting some drugs in another person's body without their permission, that's where I draw the fucking line. When it comes to forcing yourself on someone else without their permission, that's where I draw the line. Yeah, I'm absolutely willing to get stabbed to death by some fucking pusher man out here over some druggie I don't even know. Or possibly even a druggie I don't even like. But if they're on the right, they're on the right. If they're in a desperate situation, they're in a desperate situation. Anyway, there's two folks here who are pretty alright. I'm going to go talk some trash to them and tell them how grateful I am that they exist and that I'm sorry people are shitty. You know how I end these videos. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind.